Cut it. Just flat out cut it.
You already
Don't
knew that
even
was
don't
coming.
even let it roll even
You already knew
the
that was coming.
slightest second. The Boston Celtics take a huge home loss here, 117 to 108, their largest defeat of the regular season to the Chicago Bulls here. I'm Justin Lowe, Seamus Zarlingo. I got Randy with me, guys. We got a whole lot to unpack here. Not only because the Celtics lost and it was an emotional game, but we also haven't had a game in about 4 or 5 days once again due to the NBA Cup. The Celtics not making it into the NBA Cup. The Celtics have had a heck of a lot of time off to really gather their thoughts. I feel like almost like feels longer than the All-Star break. I mean, these days between games, certainly doesn't help. Luckily, we'll have tomorrow off and we'll be able to get right back at it on Sunday against the Chicago Bulls for a rematch. But as for tonight, Celtics take a grueling loss. Seamus, you know the drill. We'll start with you, my friend. Thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, for some reason, this team, 2024-25, so far, similar record as the 23-24 Celtics. However, similar performances, few and far between. Last year's Celtics, which were predominantly the same Celtics, dominated teams on a nightly basis. And yes, there were some silly losses here and there, but for the most part, that team was dominant. This year, this team just hasn't been that dominant at all. And tonight was a game in which we felt like throughout most of the game, the Celtics should have won and should have been ahead in. Yet, there were the Bulls right there, right alongside the Celtics. And we said it last post game that the Bulls were going to give the Celtics a run. So it's not as if this was totally unexpected, but I still believe most of us expected the Celtics to come into the Garden tonight. Second game in 11 days, a lot of rest, a lot of home rest, and we only flew down to Washington, which is on the East Coast, very close to Boston. Not that far of a flight for the Celtics to make. Face the Wizards, terrible team, one of the worst teams in NBA history. Celtics had everything going for them in this game, and yet the Bulls come out in the fourth quarter. They score 35 points in the fourth quarter. The Celtics score 22. And throughout most of this game, it really felt like, oh, who's going to make that first run? Who's going to make that first run? Because it was going back and forth, back and forth. And it ended up being the Bulls. Ended up being the Bulls. Late in the fourth quarter, the Celtics just let an onslaught happen, particularly at the beginning of the fourth quarter. The Celtics, they let a 10-0 run slip under their nose. Zach LaVine was really the spearhead of that run and the Bulls' run in the fourth quarter and really throughout the game. Zach LaVine, 36 points tonight. Felt like he couldn't miss from deep. He was 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. And the Celtics, for the most part, outside of Jason Tatum, who shot 10 of 22 tonight, 31 points. We'll get to him a little bit later. The Celtics couldn't really get a great performance out of really anybody else. Derek White started the game extremely cold. Looked like he was going to turn it up there in the second quarter and really save the Celtics. The rest of the game went back to being cold. And Peyton Pritchard, we talked about him a lot, wasn't as much of a factor as we're used to seeing him be tonight. Jaylen Brown struggled. Kristaps Porzingis, I thought, against Nikola Vucevic was not a huge factor in this game. And overall, the Celtics just couldn't get those needed performances out of their role players or really their top 6 or top 5 starters tonight. No Sam Hauser, no Xavier Tillman, but that really didn't make much of a difference in tonight's game when the Celtics, most of us expected them to pull this one out. Going back and forth at home, we expected the Celtics as the ones to make the run, yet that run never happened for the Celtics, not once. And it came for the Chicago Bulls, as the score indicates on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, whatever way we break this game down, it was just. I mean, we only lost by 9 points, but like I said, whatever way we break this game down, really, just a horrible game on honestly all cylinders of the game. I mean, we got out rebound. We were shooting 25%. I think you said what we missed we shot 56 3-pointers tonight, only connecting on 14 of them. I mean, sometimes we hit 14 threes in the first half. It's sad when I think the best player on the Celtics team tonight was Jaden Springer. I mean, we got Zach LaVine and Ayo Dosunmu looking like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. This Bulls team, I was actually watching the game over at Zach's house tonight, and as I was watching them in the first half, I was like, wow, we neutralized the pace. I mean, Fast-paced. I mean, number one ranked pace team in the league. I thought we did a great job coming out of the gate. Actually, it was kind of a defensive battle, honestly, in the first quarter. Low scoring. And I think we neutralized the pace. And I was like, all right, it's going to be one of those games, tough down the stretch, but our veteran leaders probably come through late and just never happened. And as I was saying, just watching the game, I didn't think the Bulls were really doing anything special. I actually said to Zach, I was like, this team just looks like they're a bunch of mid players right now. I mean, like early, it was 14-13 with like 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. I was like, it's gonna be a battle down the stretch. But yeah, we didn't come to play tonight. I think we played down to our competition. We were shooting some good shots. We were getting open looks, and nothing was going down. Like we had D White catch and shoot. Nope. We had Peyton Pritchard. Nope. Tatum, ISO ball, step back three. We hit a few of them, but other than those ISO 3-pointers, we really didn't have much going behind the arc. And, it showed late in the game when we needed a bucket. We had Porzingis hit a few late, but other than that, nothing really going down.
Well, here's the thing. I was quite disappointed with the shots tonight for the Celtics, not because they didn't fall, but because of how they were generated. Actually, about how they weren't generated. It's not like we were the traditional drive and kick, which the Celtics are by far the best team at doing so, driving and kicking it out, always having a guy open because people overreact on a guy like Jason Tatum or Kristaps Porzingis. Jaylen Brown getting to the hoop, it usually leaves one or two guys open on the perimeter. That's not how those shots were generated tonight. I understand there were some open looks, but even the open looks weren't generated. The offense was stagnant. The offense, in my opinion, was hideous. I'll use that word. It was hideous. As for the defensive end, that's the only reason we had a shot in tonight's game. Seamus mentioned it earlier, second game, and feels like maybe right around 10, 11 days.
11 days.
Sometimes the rest is good, fellas, especially when you got guys on the injury report like we did tonight. But sometimes too much rest leads to rust, and that's exactly what you saw. The Celtics were running in the mud once again tonight, and it essentially caught up to them. They couldn't hit their shots. Defensively, though, I will say, right up until the fourth quarter, which stinks because that's when it all matters the most. But essentially, I thought the Celtics were playing one of their better defensive games of the season up until that fourth quarter when Chicago went on that. They started out the fourth quarter on a 17-6 run. I was very impressed with the defense tonight. I thought that was what kept Boston in the game. In fact, I thought when the offense was, when they were making shots and when they were making plays happen, offensively, I thought it was because of their defense. And so I will give the credit to the defense tonight. The offense looked horrendous. 56 3-pointers. I'm not worried about the number of 3-point attempts. That's not what I'm worried about. The number can be high. But when you're not generating those looks and you're just chucking up the threes and you're not generating anything from it, that's when that 56 becomes a number that you raise your eyebrow at and you say, well, do we really need to be shooting all these threes? At what point is it that we stop doing that? At what point do we say we have Jason Tatum, who's 6'10", a face of the NBA, plays at an MVP caliber level? There were moments tonight when Jason Tatum shot the ball, and I'm like, what is he doing? The Chicago Bulls are a team that you drive to, and they didn't do that tonight. They sat at the 3-point line. And listen, I understand that there's post-game shows where we're sitting here. Oh, the Celtics historically are historically the best 3-point shooting team we've seen. There are nights where they're hitting, upwards of 20 to 25 made 3-pointers there. Yes, there are majority of the nights you will not see a team outshoot the Boston Celtics. Tonight, unfortunately, was a rare night that we saw a team outshoot the Boston Celtics. And obviously, as you see in the final score graphic, Chicago did that. And that's big reason why they won tonight.
Yeah. Look, down low in the paint, actually, I saw it a lot in the first half. Not so much in the second half, but it was weird the way the Bulls are playing defense tonight because Porzingis was going ISO ball down low. It was I think he matched up tonight against either Ao DeSumo down low or it was Patrick Williams, which was weird. You know, you'd think okay, Vucevic is down low, but I saw a lot of Williams and a lot of DeSumo on Porzingis one-on-one, and that's a mismatch all day. And I don't know if it's a testament to the rust still with Missoula after all this time off or what was going on, but I saw him make a few of those buckets. ISO, no one can guard Porzingis one-on-one in the post. I don't care who you are. Not many centers in the league, not many players in the league can get a good contest on Porzingis one-on-one in the post. And I don't know why we didn't really explore that more, because if I could see it from TV, Porzingis going one-on-one down low with DeSumo or Williams, I'm not sure what the team couldn't see, but I don't know why we weren't exploiting that mismatch.
I'm going to hit on the three-pointers real quick because have they been a debate this season so far? 56 three-pointers tonight. That inches towards a single game high for the Celtics all season. Now, it's not the single game high. The single game high was actually, I believe, 61 against the New York Knicks on opening night, and number 2 was 60 against the Memphis Grizzlies on that Saturday night where we lost. The Memphis Grizzlies shot 27 less threes than the Celtics, yet made only 3 less threes than the Celtics the entire game. And the Celtics, they really hold the NBA's mark for most three-point attempts in a game by a wide margin. And tonight, 56 three-point attempts. Now, I understand, again, I've harped on this in previous post games where I said, look, the three-point volume is what we want to achieve. Yes, I understand the analytical mathematics behind three-pointers, okay? Threes are worth more than 2 if you hit them at a specific clip. They're going to be a more efficient shot, especially if you shoot them at a volume. At a volume, you want to shoot a high number of threes. But within that, we saw an evolution of the Celtics team 2 years ago when Ime Udoka came into the building. Brad Stevens, the team now, I will say, disclaimer for 2021, that team was all over the place. Injuries, there was a 72-game season, no fans, injuries out the wazoo. And of course, we know the team wasn't all that great. A lot of young players, Shimi Ojeleye, Romeo Langford, Grant Williams, had a step back year. We were all relying on those type of players. So disclaimer for that season. But the Celtics stepped back in terms of efficiency that year. And when Ime Udoka came into the building in 2021-22, that team was very keen on creating good three-point shots. And we even saw the team turn around when they traded Dennis Schroeder and Josh Richardson, who I thought didn't fit in as well with Tatum, Brown, and we remember Smart was running the show as well back then. We, of course, traded for Derek White, who came in, made the team super efficient, and even Daniel Tice, too, to the big man rotation. And those two players, specifically Derek White, who's still around today, made the team super efficient in terms of getting wide open three-point shots. It's the quality of shots we want to look at. It's not just the volume. Yes, we want to achieve a volume, but we also want to take a high quality shot from beyond the perimeter or create more high quality shots. And tonight, 56 threes, and most of the nights where the Celtics shoot over 50 threes or over 55 threes or however many, whatever mark you want to put it at, in the 50s, the Celtics struggle at creating those high quality looks. A lot of the three-point shots the Celtics shoot are straight up, boom, jack off of no passes, jack off of, right there, 18 seconds. Like, what, you guys are laughing because when I term things in a specific way just now, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The Celtics were just jacking them out there, just continuously jacking three-pointers, just continuously, egregiously. And it was coming off of a lot of no passes, no offense. It was a lot of, we understand the pace too. We want to play a higher pace, higher volume. But honestly, got to reel it back in right now.
You're just ridiculous.
I'm distracted.
Me too. But all in all, the Celtics, just in terms of their three-point quality, it's not been good this season. Okay, I understand Missoula ball. We want to shoot a million threes. We want to jack a million threes. Yes. Yes, but we cannot be shooting low quality shots. And that's what we were shooting specifically. The Celtics were shooting early in the first quarter and throughout the game tonight when, it's Tatum off of an isolation possession. Derek White. I don't know what's going on with him this season. I really expected more. Last season, we saw him go to the rim, go to the rim, go to the rim. What did that do? That collapsed the defense. That, of course, made him a scorer at the rim. We put him in the All-Star conversation last year. Not only did it create points at the rim for Derek White, created points for everybody else out on the perimeter. But what is Derek White doing this year? Boom, right away,
Seamus,
right away.
You
3 of 12 tonight for Derek White. 12 3-point attempts for Derek White. And this is the problem when we see either Derek White or Drew Holiday shoot a large number of 3-point attempts. They're usually not all good threes. We want to see those guys catch and shoot from the quarter, catch and shoot off a hockey assist on the wing. We want to see those guys be aggressive with the ball in their hands when they're handling the ball. And Rob even has mentioned it on postgame where they've turned into more 3-and-D wings than actual guards this season, whether it's because Jason Tatum and Peyton Pritchard has been taking over more of the playmaking responsibilities. Those guys have kind of reverted back into being more of these 3-and-D type of wings. But we want to see the ball. We want to see when it's in their hands, Derek White and Drew Holiday be aggressive going to the rim, or we want to see their 3-point attempts be catch and shoot attempts. This year, it's coming off of more isolation opportunities, and I don't think that's very productive for the Celtics whatsoever. And I think we're seeing it come out in games like tonight where 56 3-pointers, you cannot tell me that a bulk of those were great 3-point shots. Yes, we want to shoot a high number of threes. I'm not against the actual number. It's more of most of these threes are not high quality shots, and the Celtics need to find more of those high quality shots as the season rolls along, because they were able to do it last year, specifically in the playoffs when it mattered the most. And maybe they'll be able to do it again when that time rolls around this season, but they have to be building those good habits going into the playoffs. And so far in December, it's been few and far between. Some nights it looks great, other nights, not so much. And tonight, in a game where we lose by 9 points, doesn't look great at all.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Randy.
No, I was just gonna say, like you said, we need high quality shots, but I think the thing is, because of the system the Celtics run, I think in their system, a Tatum ISO step back three, that is a good shot. I think that's really been instilled on them, or a drive kick 3-point every time.
Well, see, I'm not arguing over the Tatum.
Yeah.
Tatum can kind of do whatever he wants at this point because he's a star.
It's
more of the others, like Jaylen Brown, 1 of 8 from 3. Derek White, 3 of 12.
Hold on.
Peyton Pritchard is 4 of 10. That was all right, efficient tonight. But it's these other guys who need to be shooting off of Tatum's attempts, Brown's aggressive driving attempts. And there's too many others on the roster outside of Tatum taking those type of Tatum threes. I'm not necessarily saying Tatum is the huge problem here, but it's more of, Derek White is taking these type of threes. Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Peyton Pritchard too. Peyton Pritchard's been very efficient from 3, but he is a culprit of that as well. Jaylen Brown as well, 1 of 8 tonight. That's just not going to do it.
Here, I want to trying to get this set up here. I do want to pull up. This is Derek White's shot chart from tonight.
Yeah, it's abysmal.
We need more corner threes out of Derek White here.
Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can take the ticker off just so we can kind of see the bottom. 30,
I feel like
5 for 14, and 12 of those shots were from behind the arc. And I understand there are certain looks that might be open, might not be open, but I think this is just a perfect example. I wish I found it a little bit quicker when Seamus was talking, because this is what we're talking about with Derek White. And don't get me wrong, D. White, at least offensively this year, has been playing spectacular. Great. But offensively, I think we can definitely see the change in where he's hanging around that perimeter right now, and he's just shooting threes this year. He's not facilitating. He's not penetrating to the basket, getting to the basket like he was last year. And that's exactly, like Seamus mentioned, a reason why he was in that all-star conversation. And you're just not seeing that from Derek White this year. You're seeing him hang out at that 3-point line. And I'll admit, man, D. White in the fourth quarter has been spectacular. Maybe not as of late, but he's been spectacular whenever you call this number, he was always there to hit a big time shot. But I definitely notice that. And if anybody notices that, it's going to be me, because I'm a big Luke Cornett guy. I'm an even bigger Derek White guy. I absolutely love Derek White and his game and what he brings to this team. I will say, though, I don't like harping on him too much, but I can definitely see kind of a role change in Derek White's game. And you mentioned it just a couple moments ago, Seamus. And we talk about what Rob talks about on the show is more of a traditional 3-and-D type wing player. Derek White has turned into be, rather than that traditional guard that we're kind of accustomed to seeing. So I just wanted to kind of bring up that shot chart from tonight. I'll throw it up there one more time for everybody to take a look at. But I mean, 14 shot attempts tonight, 12 of those came behind that 3-point arc, and he only hit 2 of them.
Yeah, Justin, you know what's interesting actually about that shot chart? Obviously they're not identical, but I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the players in the Celtics, I feel like their shot charts are going to look like that, whether that's full season or just, small periods of time. But I mean, what the Celtics identity is, I think the entire league knows. I think, the TNT guy, everyone knows what this Celtics identity is. It's physical, tall, big, and they can shoot the three and they drive to the basket. And I think that shot chart is a perfect representation of not just Derek White, but I think of a lot of the Celtics. Like Tatum, yes, we see him hit the mid-range sometimes. But other than a little bit, most of these guys, like, Tatum, Brown, Holiday, I mean Horford, especially Porzingis, they're just three or layup. That's their identity. I mean, yeah, we get JB. I always harp on him, how he's probably one of, if not the best mid-range guy in the league. But outside of him, I think that shot chart is a perfect representation of this team.
That shot chart, to me, what stands out really, Derek White's, is how many threes are coming at the top of the key or the wing, which suggests they're not catch and shoot threes this season. Most of catch and shoot threes happen either in the corner, and yes, they do happen on the wing as well when the ball gets swinged around. But you notice a lot of those are more centered at the top of the key. They're closer to the top of the key. Yep, there you go again. 2 corner threes tonight, and they're hardly corner threes, really. They're not deep in the corner either. Misses both of those, and the rest are threes that kind of, I mean, outside of really those, if you look out on the left side, those 2 wing shots on the left side, all the rest of those threes are pretty much dribble up and shoot. That's what it is. And that's a problem for me right now, and a problem with the Celtics, and a problem with Derek White. And I also want to point out, too, with this shot chart, look at the 2 shots at the rim. We just saw it. They were both makes.
Right there.
Yeah,
They're both makes.
layups.
We want to get more shots at the rim with this team, because when you get shots at the rim, those are some of the easiest shots in basketball. And what also annoys me a little bit about the 3-point barrage in the NBA today, now, I don't think it's as big of a problem for the ratings as people suggest and for the league. But what annoys me about the 3-point barrage from the Celtics and the rest of the league is, if you really look at the most efficient shots in the NBA, which is what the league is going off of right now, they look at, what is going to create the most points per shot? And the data shows corner threes, but layups. It's as if, I understand, yes, teams want to get 3-pointers or layups, but it's as if not enough emphasis is actually put on going to the rim and getting layups, because not only do you get a high efficient shot at the rim from a layup, because boom, it's 2 feet, it's right there. And corner threes, the reason they're efficient is because usually it's wide open in the corner. If you kick out, wide open guy, everybody collapses, guys in the corner, wide open. But you get free throws. You get free throws, you get fouled, you get free throws if you're driving to the rim aggressively, constantly. And we have seen that with some of the best players in the NBA. I won't bring up some names because it's going to bring up some controversy here, because they're going to be names in which us Celtics fans don't like. Some of the most prolific free throw shooters in the last 5-10 years. I think we kind of know who those people are. They might
Who's
reside
Steph?
on some LA
Steph?
teams, some Philadelphia-led teams,
Flopping. Yeah.
just some of those teams. But those guys are aggressive
Oh,
at
okay.
going to the rim. And yes, they get some cupcake calls along the way, but those guys won't name names here from
Well,
Philadelphia and
I
Los
want
Angeles
to.
here.
I want
They
to
go to
clear
the rim
Giannis's name.
aggressively. What was that, Justin?
I want to clear Giannis's name because I feel like Giannis doesn't get enough respect. So I
I
hope you're
agree.
not.
I didn't say
I
Milwaukee. I
agree
said
with that.
Philadelphia and Los
Okay.
Angeles. I'm just
I
saying.
agree with
I
that.
think you guys know they're yellow and blue teams. Won't bring up the
Yeah.
jersey numbers 21,
Or
23.
position.
Well,
you
you
know.
could say Embiid. It's not going to hurt his feelings. Dude doesn't play anyway.
Well, I'm just saying these good Embiid and LeBron James, they're two of the most prolific free throw shooters in the league. And I understand they get cupcake calls and the referees favor them and blah 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 blah. But part of the reason as to why they get to the line is they're some of the hardest players to guard when they go downhill towards the rim. And we have one of those players right now. His name is Jason Tatum. His
Yeah, we
name
gotta
is
do it.
Jason Tatum.
He's
gotta
on
do
the
it.
Celtics, so we
Yeah.
know how that goes.
Well, I mean, we want to just get right into it. Usually we kind of go,
get
we
into
take a
it.
look at the lead tracker, but we're talking about Jason Tatum. Why don't we bring up Jason Tatum tonight?
Yeah,
He's
sure.
your SeatGeek
Let's go.
player spotlight of the game, guys. SeatGeek. I want to just give them a quick shout out because they are our partner here for the season and the holidays coming up right around the corner. Celts at the Garden on Christmas Day. Celts at the Garden on New Year's Eve. A couple of great matchups, interdivision matchups. Philadelphia on Christmas Day. Toronto on New Year's Eve. Grab some tickets for your friends, for your family, for yourself, maybe. Maybe dabble in some tickets for yourself. Treat yourself. It's the holiday season. Use code Celtics Weekly at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Again, Celtics Weekly at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. They really help you out with the seats. Green means good. Red means bad. Yellow means okay. They got some deals for you there. They definitely help you get the best deal and the best seats out of it. Jason Tatum tonight, a 31-point, 10-rebound, double-double in the loss, 10 of 22 from the field, 4 of 11 from three-point range, also dabbled in some steals. Tatum was the only option we had for player spotlight tonight.
Thought it could be Derek White again. It was Derek White graphic. Here we go. And
I was
just
kind
falls
of
down the
dabbling the idea of a Kristaps Porzingis player spotlight, but no, I will give the respect. I will give the respect. There's different segments for that, Randy.
My bad.
Jason Tatum, I did enjoy what I saw from Jason Tatum tonight. Got off to a very quick start, 12 points in that first quarter, kind of set the tone for the Celtics, or at least tried to set the tone for the Celtics. Nothing was really going. There was a point in that fourth quarter, the first 6 minutes of it, when the Celtics were getting outscored 17-6. Chicago, all of a sudden, was a team that was losing. All of a sudden, huge swing. They're up by 9. Jason Tatum still nowhere to be found on the bench. Wasn't too pleased about that, since Tatum was essentially one of the, if not the only player to show up tonight for this team. But Jason Tatum continuing to do what Jason Tatum does, win or loss, he's going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, look, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. I feel like tonight it was, I don't want to say I didn't see him scoring later in the game, but yeah, what stood out to me was those 12 quick points. But once again, it was a lot of ISO ball, step back, and even that being said, just 4 of 11 from behind the arc. And I don't know. I was, he had 31 points, but I don't want to sound, like a hater here, but I wasn't that impressed by him tonight. I mean, as a team, I'm looking at the stats here. We only had four turnovers. That's probably the silver lining in this game. We controlled the ball and we took care of the ball, but just the execution down the stretch. I mean, you get a technical at probably. I mean, we can talk about that later, but just bad composure, lack of leadership, and ultimately, I think that is what cost the game. And I'm not putting any blame on Tatum, but I mean, as a collective, he is the leader. He's the leader probably in the locker room, on the floor, and keeping your team composed is, that's just as big as, being a skilled player in the league. And tonight I didn't see it.
Are we playing too much through Jason Tatum? I know we're supposed to be highlighting his great performance tonight, 31 points, 10 of 22, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. But it feels like if Jason Tatum isn't on, the Celtics, they haven't quite come to the party yet this season. And last year we were talking about, well, the Celtics, they have an embarrassment of riches. Jaylen Brown can go off on any night. Drew Holiday can go off on any night.
Not
Derek
this
White.
year.
We have Kristaps Porzingis. And this year it feels like when Tatum is off the floor, we're already talking about it where, oh my gosh, Tatum's off the floor. What is the Celtics team going to do? It almost feels like we're playing through Jason Tatum too heavily this year.
I agree. Yeah.
And I don't want to say that he shouldn't be the focal point of the offense, because I think it's safe to say that Jason Tatum is right now the best player on the Boston Celtics, and the ball needs to be in his hands as often as possible. But it almost feels as if it's not quite clicking with everybody else if Jason Tatum isn't on the floor. And I almost feel like there's this increased reliance on Tatum this year compared to past years. And of course, I hate to bring this up during Player Spotlight because we're really supposed to be praising Tatum a little bit right now, but this is part of the praise for Jason Tatum. He's been so good that if the Celtics, if they don't see him on the floor, they're struggling. And that kind of says something about the rest of the team, but it also says something great about Jason Tatum as well. Now, tonight, 31 points, like you guys mentioned, 12 quick points. And I thought he was fairly consistent throughout the game overall. Now, 10 of 22, not the best of lines in the world, but also not the worst of lines.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 missed shots away from being, or 1 missed shot really from being, what's it called, 50%. Geez, couldn't come up with the percentage in my mind here. Mathematics class just escaping me right now. But Jason Tatum overall, it's really about the team right now. Outside of Jason Tatum as the spotlight player of the game here, it's about the rest of the team where if Jason Tatum isn't performing or isn't out on the floor, what are we getting from everybody else, and how is the offense really moving with the Celtics? We talked about Peyton Pritchard a lot this season, where if Jason Tatum isn't on the floor, Peyton Pritchard, he's kind of the saving grace. But I feel as if outside of those two players, the team just looks a little bit discombobulated if either one of those players don't have the ball in their hands. And tonight, that really showed a lot because Jason Tatum, as you guys already mentioned down the stretch, could have been in the game a little bit more. And I don't want to say this is a game where he should play more and more and more, because it is a random game in December and we want to save some of his minutes for later on down the line. But that's I don't want to say it's concerning right now, but it's almost as if we need to play Jason Tatum 40 minutes in some games to actually go and blow out another team or pull out a game, when that just shouldn't be the case.
It's first of all, I laugh because some of the things that I think that we complain about, which are valid. It's like we are 21-6. like
no. I'm not allowing this right now. You know
no.
Because I agree that it's like we're 21-6.
No.
But the road's tough.
Okay, Seamus,
the road's tough.
Let me finish because I'm not attacking you. I know I viciously.
No. I'm not saying you're attacking me. I'm just saying we gotta be crisp.
Just saying I just personally and I'm not giving this team any excuses coming off a championship. I'm not giving them any hand me downs or whatever. I'm not giving them like anything.
Any hand me downs.
I'm not taking it easy on them. I'm not trying to say like, oh, you just take a night off. You won a championship last year, take a night off. Don't play well. My thing is, it's just like I go through Instagram and social media and I just see other fan bases and just see how they react, and like there's teams in like just far worse situations here, and like just some of the stuff that we talk about are like other teams. Like
we have standards though. We have standards.
That's the thing. That's like 100% like the thing. Like we have very high expectations, we have very high standards, and we have very much respect for our team, but like our issues are other teams' dreams. Like,
Yeah,
are we playing
that's
too
true.
much through Jason Tatum? Are we playing do you know how many teams would kill to have one specific player to play
The
through?
Wizards, the
Like,
Raptors,
Yeah,
that's why
Hornets.
I laugh. Just because it's like our
Yeah.
problems are like our rags are other people's riches, I guess,
Yeah.
if that's how I could put it. But I shut up. I think oh my gosh.
No, I'm just thinking other
Dude.
teams are probably hoping to get 2 wins string together, and we're over here like, can Tatum play 40 minutes? Is that okay?
But on a more legitimate and serious
to
note,
blow out teams.
on a serious note, though, guys, this is something that we have kind of raised an eyebrow a little bit. Seamus, we're not, Seamus mentioned, maybe we're not pressing the panic button, or, maybe we're not, worrying about this here in December. But at the same time, it's been a consistent issue so far this season throughout the first almost 30 games now, where when Tatum has hit the bench, Celtics look stagnant. The Celtics look like they can't be this dominant team without him in just specific stretches. Yes, I understand we did see, a game against Detroit in Washington or whoever the two teams were that Tatum sat out against. But I seriously think it's been a problem with this team when Jason Tatum hits the bench and all of a sudden nothing good comes out of the non-Tatum minutes. We saw it against Cleveland. That to me was like the biggest like eye opening. Like, we're almost a month past that game and we've had some solid games since then, and I really can't get that out of my head about how poorly the Celtics played without Jason Tatum. Yes, we were missing some guys in that game, but a 43-point fourth quarter, and when Tatum was on the bench, we just looked like a lottery team. And then tonight here to start this fourth quarter, the first 6 minutes of this fourth quarter that Tatum was not on the court, the Chicago Bulls, not the 96 Chicago Bulls, the 2024 Chicago Bulls look
like 96.
Jordan 1996 Chicago Bulls team. They really did.
Yeah.
And that to me is concerning because it's been happening too often. It's been happening too often for us to see Tatum hits the bench and the Celtics dog it for the next 7 minutes until he gets back, or whatever the stretch is, until he gets back in the game. And I get it. We're in December. I get it. We're 21-6, but that to me is a big issue with this team. And it continues to be. We have multiple YouTube videos on it. I don't know how many more YouTube videos we can make on Jason, on the production of the lack of production when Tatum hits the pine. I don't. Right. And this is a problem that needs to be solved.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now what we're watching is, like you said, Justin, we're 21-6. Teams would die to be 21-6 right now. But I think honestly, coming from a Celtics fan, what we are watching is the potential to be one of the greatest, teams of all time. And right now we are in the mindset that I think, like, you look at our roster, and as a fan, I can fall victim to this too, but as, Celtics players, I feel like, you can fall victim to, oh my goodness, we have 5 all-NBA players, 5 all-stars on this team, comparisons to, the Golden State, whatever, dynasty. And I don't know if that's, causing all these, different things in the locker room, whatever. But I think right now what we're watching is just the potential of one of the greatest teams ever. And I think we're letting that kind of make us play down to our competition. Even in games like I was talking about the Wizards game that we won, by a good margin. I think it was 11 points, something like that. Nothing crazy. But I wasn't impressed.
I mean,
you guys were all telling me like a win is a win, whatever. But I wasn't impressed. I think we were playing down.
Seamus said that?
Yeah, no. I was actually going to mention. I was going to try to bring this up. I was like, no. I actually think Randy, Justin, you don't want to give out flowers to any player tonight, but we got to give flowers to Randy.
I'm not giving my flowers to Randy. No way, Jose.
Wow.
Well, no. Let me explain this. Let me. Oh, see. Yeah.
Seamus,
let me explain this. So.
Hype me up.
Let me explain this, because on Sunday, me and Rob, I felt like we're firmly on the side of, this is a nothing game against Doug Gottlieb this past week. Oh, nothing University in Michigan Tech, and Green Bay goes and loses to Michigan
Nothing
Tech.
new.
But that's kind of how we were treating the Washington Wizards. Oh, this is nothing University, or this is a nothing game.
Doing that.
Rob said that. Rob said this is a
Yeah.
nothing game. But Randy,
know
you were on the side of we're playing down to this
Yeah.
competition. We're not playing a good NBA game against an NBA opponent, no matter whether
NBA
they're
opponent.
3-21 or whatever they are. And what happens is we come out in a game where we're actually facing a real NBA opponent, and the Chicago Bulls come out and smack us. And I
Tonight
kind of look
showed
back
it.
at that
Tonight
segment
showed
and
it.
go, yeah, that was kind of a nothing game. Yeah, sure. And we won by 14, but that's a game we could have won by 25. And we're really 11 points below our standards. You know, we were 14.5-point
Yeah,
favorites
I saw that.
tonight.
We were minus
14.5. We lost by
minus
9.
1,400.
Mm.
Minus 1,400 on FanDuel. Minus
Yeah.
1,400.
I hear
More
that,
free
Randy.
promos
lost
here.
that
More
tonight.
free promos.
Nope.
But
I don't
For
sports
real,
bet. Nope.
I look at this game and
I
go,
love that.
yeah, Randy, you were completely right when we faced the Washington
Unbelievable.
Wizards, where it's like,
Unbelievable.
we'll look past that game because
No.
we won by 14. It was nothing. It was a Sunday night, blah blah blah.
No.
But then those kind of performances are really precursors to a game like
Exactly.
tonight, and
It's-
you were right
yeah,
on
yeah.
that point on
yeah.
Sunday night.
I always think, and I think this in big games as well. And usually I'm like, you know what? Like, if tonight meant anything, then next game we'll know. We'll know. Like, and I felt that with the Milwaukee game. Now we beat Milwaukee 3 times this year. And I get it. Second night of a back-to-back, 5 games in 7 nights, throw out the excuses, whatever. But it hurt when we lost that Memphis game. It took
Yeah,
away the
I
value
agree.
of the Bucks game for me. It really took away the value of the Bucks game. I understand, like, second night of a back-to-back, like, we're running on mud, and I get it.
No
but like,
Horford.
there are games, certain games when that happens, and it's like, remember after the Cleveland game, the game we beat Cleveland, like, I forget who we played after, but we won, and I remember like a breath of fresh air, like I just like was able to like relax because I was like, like. Say, I don't know who we played after the first Cleveland game, but like say we went and we beat Cleveland and then we just got trounced by like the Pistons or like the Wizards. Like that would have taken the value away from the Cleveland game. Yes, I know it's a November game. Yes, I know that we're likely to see Cleveland over a Detroit or Washington or whoever the team we played after. But it to me, sometimes those take the values away. Right.
Yeah.
But I tried to shed light on Jason Tatum, throwing him the player spotlight tonight. Kind of ruined my flowers segment. Seamus just giving my
Good thing we
flowers.
didn't have the
I
graphic
get the
ready
flowers.
tonight.
Dude,
My
I'm
goodness.
totally for you out of all the people that I have on this show. You handing out the flowers for me. I'm honored by it. The dead flowers last show.
That was great.
I appreciated the effort. It was so heartwarming that I was sitting here watching that. I shed a tear. I was like, you know what? It was the effort that counts. I don't even have flowers in front of me right now to
I love
hand
the
out.
Airbnb flowers. Those were spectacular.
And I'm gonna be 100%. I have I have nothing. I'm looking around. I have nothing.
Yeah, no.
And
I have the other ones I had the other day. I do have those still.
I gotta
Oh,
Yeah,
get
give
some.
me some. Let's go.
Yeah, here we
Give them
go.
out, Seamus.
Well, here, this was the best one right here.
You know what?
Seamus,
Seamus, I'm not. This is my segment. I'm gonna shine during it. I appreciate the effort. Talk amongst yourselves. Seamus, keep it rolling.
Oh, all right, Seamus. I guess we're gonna keep going. Well,
All right.
Seamus, can I have my dead flowers, because I think
here.
after that call on Sunday, or whenever our last podcast was about the Washington Wizards, yeah, we have been playing down to our there they are. We've been playing down to our opponent the entire season. I
Brutal.
mean, from I think the last good game that
All
I've
right.
seen, really. Oh, he's back.
Oh,
Yeah.
he
He's getting.
he went to the store. He went to the store.
Yeah, Justin, where'd you just
Those
go?
are what?
Sheesh.
My
Man, they're
flowers
like
tonight.
really wow. My goodness.
My flowers tonight. Justin's flowers. Going, and this
To me.
this might be out of left field here. Joe Mazzulla gets my flowers tonight.
Whoa.
Joe Mazzulla gets my flowers tonight. People are going to say, man, he didn't play Tatum in that fourth quarter. I don't want to hear it. The league ratings are plummeting.
Oh, here we
Plummeting.
Yep.
They're an
Here we go.
all-time low.
Justin's mad.
Larry Bird is not walking through that damn door.
Here we go.
Magic Johnson is not walking through that damn door. Michael Jordan left the Charlotte Hornets. He's definitely not walking through that damn door. The NBA is screwed. The only people who can fix the NBA right now are Joe Mazzulla. Randy, call me crazy. Randy, call me nuts.
Justin. I'm
dead serious.
I'm
dead serious when I'm about to tell you this. I'm dead serious when I'm about to tell you. Luke Cornett. Hear me out. Hear me out.
I can't even.
Hear me out. Hear me out. What is this league missing? What's the number one complaint that this league has had this year? Go ahead, fellas. What's the number one complaint? We talked about it literally the first half hour of the show. I'll throw up Derek White's shot chart. Tell me what the issue of the NBA here has been.
It's 3-point attempts.
Yeah.
Okay. There's 3-point attempts.
And guess what? Look at guys like Jonas Valanciunas. Look at guys like Al Horford, right? Centers.
This is a crazy take off the cuff here.
This is, I mean.
Luke Cornett is saving the NBA right now.
Listen to me when I talk. Let me finish. Centers like Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis just sitting at that 3-point line shooting threes. What does Luke Cornett do? He goes, you know what? Everybody's complaining about the 3-point shot. Let me take my game back inside. Now he plays this high pick and roll, rim runner, rim protector, doesn't extend that 3-point shot. Only took one attempt last year, and guess what, fellas? He drilled it. Number one complaint. Boom. There we go. 3-point shooting. Don't have to worry about that. Luke Cornett's not going to shoot threes. He's going to be old-fashioned getting the paint. Damn it, Randy, let me talk.
Oh, God, this is atrocious.
Another thing that we're missing in this league, and we're getting fined all the time for doing it. Celebrations. Not a single Luke Cornett celebration has gotten a technical foul in his career or gotten him ejected. They're clean. They're funny. They're entertaining. And the league needs entertainment. And that's exactly what he's doing. Also, the honesty of Luke Cornett. The honesty of Luke Cornett is pivotal in this league. I'm dead serious, by the way. This guy is so smart. This guy is so smart. He leads by example. Last year, I'll give you an example right here. Last year, Celtics going to the NBA Cup, make it to the quarterfinal. So obviously, they're one win away from going to Vegas. The payout is huge. Rich get richer, right? Payout is huge. Everybody starts asking everybody, all the players, what are you going to do with your money? What are you going to do with your money? What are you going to do? Guess what he said? Guess what Luke Cornett said? He pointed out the importance of taking care of your bills, taking care of your mortgages and your insurances. He's going to put the money towards all that. You hear no NBA player talking about that. You hear no NBA, and this is not meant to be political in any way, but you don't hear anybody talking about the economies and all that. Luke Cornett's putting it out there to the youth. Don't waste your money on crappy things. Luke Cornett, I'm dead serious. And there's a reason why Brad Stevens has kept him around the past 5 or 6 years. And guess what? Even when Luke Cornett left to go play for Cleveland and Milwaukee, two of our biggest rivals in the Eastern Conference, guess what? He still wound up back here. And he's even getting better every year that he's played with us. Didn't play tonight. Not sure why. I thought it was a big, and I just gave my flowers to Joe Mazzulla.
19 seconds he played.
I thought it was a big FU throwing him in there. 19 seconds, worst game of the year. Why let those players walk off the court, losers? Let the players that got themselves in that deficit walk off. But I think every point that I made, valid. Valid.
All right.
Valid. Valid.
All right.
Valid. 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 I feel
All
like
right, Justin.
who was the coach that just went on and he just repeated the same word over and over and over and over. I think Luke Cornett is one of those players. I think he is one of those players, maybe not skill wise, but I think he stands for everything of what the NBA needs to improve on. No, I'm not saying because I'm saying Larry Bird's not walking through the door. He's not going to be another Larry Bird, but I think he's the best example that the NBA has right now. The best example of what the NBA has right now. Straight face. I'm not lying to you.
So let me just make this clear real quick. All right. So you're telling me because Luke Cornett is a responsible adult and does the right thing with his
and he
money.
Plays the game the right way.
And
plays the game the right way.
He plays the game the right way, but we have two centers that are much more skilled, and yes, they shoot 3-pointers.
Okay, so Joel Embiid, we were just talking about Joel Embiid 10 minutes ago. First of all, doesn't play.
So Luke Cornett's clamping.
Doesn't play.
Is that what you're telling
Load management player doesn't play, Randy. Load management. That is another thing that's wrong with this damn league. Load friggin' management. You and I probably have played as many minutes as Joel Embiid this season. And somehow he's in everybody's MVP talks. How? I don't know. How is that? How is a player like Joel Embiid entertaining? He does nothing but complain. He does nothing but complain. And he calls out his own fans. Oh, the city of Philadelphia, they owe me this and that. What have you given to them? What have you given to them? I mean, and you guys have seen it in the group chat. I'm begging for this to somehow happen. I'll do it in 2K, God damn it, if it doesn't happen. Ben Simmons goes back to Philadelphia, dominates.
I would love that.
Takes him past the second round. Love it. Love it. What is Joel Embiid? And we literally just talked about it 5 or 10 minutes ago. Free throw merchant. It's not fun. I don't find, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Celtics fan. I don't like the Sixers. I'm dead serious when I tell you this. What is so fun about watching Joel Embiid go to the free throw line on not even fouls, if anything, tic-tac fouls? What's so fun about that? What is so fun about that? And then he's pulling up from 3. He's not a 3-point shooter. Just because you can make 1 out of 15 doesn't mean you're a damn 3-point shooter. Stop shooting them. You're 7 feet, 398 pounds. Get in the friggin' paint. I mean, come on. Come on. You're gonna tell me Joel Embiid, that was a terrible example. A terrible example. You're off to a Franco Radio Boy start on that one, Randy.
Wow.
Randy, out of
Franco catching strays. He ain't even
out of everybody to talk about in the league, you just brought out Joel Embiid. If anything, Joel Embiid is the epitome of what's wrong in the NBA right now.
No, I totally agree. I'm just saying, like, but believe it or not, all that being said, I would take a healthy Embiid over a healthy Cornett. I'm sorry if that's upsetting to you, Justin. But all circumstances aside, I love Luke Cornett, but I'm sorry in a if I'm picking one that's gonna be healthy, I'm sorry, but I would pick Joel Embiid.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
And this has nothing to do with this. Is way past the Luke. By the way, you're making this all about my Luke Cornett point. It's not all about my Luke Cornett.
All right.
Stop using the word if. That's another problem in this league. If. Oh my gosh, what a prime time matchup. Celtics and Sixers Christmas Day could be if Joel Embiid suits up, if Paul George suits up. Can we stop with the friggin' ifs? Take it off damn national TV if you're going to play the if necessary, if this, if that. Game time decision. We all know that he's not going to suit up and play. Just tell me he's not going to suit up and play and put another damn game on national TV. I saw tonight Orlando ended up coming back. There was a blowout on TNT. Guess what? The Pistons and the Pistons and Utah game started off as a blowout. Turned out to be a terrific game. Put that on TV. I mean, the NBA is doing a horrible job. And you know what the NBA did on the in-season tournament game against the Thunder and the Rockets? They started off their game preview by saying, although this isn't an NBA marquee matchup, oh yeah, that gets me real hyped. That gets me real
let's
hyped.
go.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this NBA Cup. You're telling me that this game has no significant meaning in the first damn sentence.
Let me pause this real quick.
No, damn
I
it,
think
Seamus.
there are some misstated statements in here.
Oh, here we go.
About
Adam
why
Silver,
the ratings
paying
are
him
down.
off. The guy paying
Here
him
we
off.
go.
Here we go.
It's not
Seamus,
see. Number one, I believe 3-point attempts and load management not problems for the NBA at all.
Dude, that's
none.
That's just
No problem at all. You know why? You know what? Who boosted the ratings last decade? Who's the player?
Steph.
Probably Steph Curry.
And what does he do?
Shoot threes.
He shoots threes. Who boosted the ratings for the WNBA?
My girl.
Caitlin Clark.
No.
And Ionescu. And what do both of those women do?
My girl from Love, man. Come on.
What do they do?
WNBA
They
champion,
shoot
by the way.
threes. They shoot threes. Those players
Here we
right
go.
there,
Here
Caitlin
comes
Clark,
Radio
Steph
Boy.
Curry,
Are you kidding
and
me?
Sabrina Ionescu. Whoa! He heard his name in this post game and
Franco,
getting thrown around the screen right now.
Well.
Heard his name during post game, had to join in.
Well.
I was sitting here
Minding his own business.
minding my own business.
Hold on.
Just had a nice Christmas party.
Hold on, Radio Boy. How do I get myself up here? I don't know how to get. I gotta get my. Hold on. We're gonna get this screen.
There we go.
All right, there we go.
We're gonna get. Hold on. No, this is right now. This is an issue that I gotta settle. But if this doesn't work, then it's just gonna be awkward.
This has become a wrestling.
this is right here.
Here we go.
What's up? What's up,
How
Radio
we
Boy?
doing?
Listen,
Very well. Just got a raise, promotion, and a bonus today.
good for you. Good for you.
All right. What did I do now?
Sit up when I talk to you. Sit up when I talk to you, Franco. You're not sit up. You're not sit up. And turn the damn TV down.
Oh,
Mine's Randy. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here.
I didn't mean to.
Get out of here, Randy. Damn it. Why is Randy still here?
Gosh.
What did
Go
I
ahead.
do?
Drop a take. Drop a take. Radio Rebel. Drop a take.
On tonight's game, I just heard my name and I had to appear. But
We're talking about why the NBA ratings are plummeting. And I brought up the fact that, hey, here's the thing. Larry Bird's not walking through the door. Famous words of Rick Pitino. Hell with him. And I mentioned the fact that I think the league needs a guy like Luke Cornett. This is a guy.
you need characters.
Yes.
That's my point.
Yes.
That's my point. What do you mean? God damn it, Seamus. What do you mean? Yes. That was my point. Seamus.
Well, you know what? I've become more of a
Seamus.
But most of your point was about load
Seamus.
management and 3-pointers. And
Seamus. Sorry. I don't know.
yeah.
Seamus. Come on. Dude, that was my point, Seamus. I told you guys that, because you guys were like, I'd rather Joel and B. I said, it's not a skill thing. It's not a skill thing right now. And on top
but Luke Cornett is not covering the whole thing here.
Those players,
Luke
Seamus,
Cornett has to be Michael Jordan.
Management.
He has to be Kobe Bryant, Shaquille
Kawhi
O'Neal,
Leonard,
LeBron
load
James,
management.
Steph Curry, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Those are the players who have saved the NBA.
Management. People are sick of tuning into games and seeing, rest, low management, right knee rehab, when they literally played 2 nights ago and dropped 50 points. 3 nights
We
ago.
need more Joe Mazzulla.
And that's my point, dude. I gave my flowers out to Mizzou. Thank you, Franco.
like that.
Radio Boy finally makes a good point. Thank you.
So Justin, you think that I don't really understand where your argument's going. Like, I agree, yes, the NBA needs more Luke Cornett's. Are you saying we as the Boston Celtics, as chasing banner 19, should be starting Luke Cornett, starting him, because the NBA needs more of him?
They need characters like Luke Cornett. And then to go off of Seamus's point with the stars in the NBA, they need to cut the bullshit with the load management. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't tell me that load management is not a problem in this
It
association.
is.
It is
It
But
is.
I really don't think it is for some of the league's best stars.
Oh, and now here comes
Dude, I'm
Seamus over
seeing
here with
It's a problem for people who are injured, like Kawhi Leonard and Joel Embiid, but they don't make up the bulk of the conversation. They take the bulk of the conversation, but they are
when
not
your
the bulk of
franchise
stars in the
player
NBA.
tells you that
Jason
you're
Tatum
not
plays
play second night
consistently.
for back-to-back,
Nikola Jokic
dude,
plays consistently.
instant
Giannis
trade.
plays
Get rid of him.
consistently.
But guess what?
Shea
Nobody
What
wants
is
Gilgeous
going
Alexander
on?
plays
Nobody wants to
consistently.
trade for him because he's
What
just
is happening?
terrible. I mean, when your star franchise player, one of the faces in the league, I would say one of the faces in the league, he's won MVP, got his only, did it voter fatigue, and he cried about it, but won an MVP. He comes out and says, I'm not playing back-to-back this season.
Look, that's Embiid.
Really?
Let him
Really?
embarrass himself. That's one
If my
star. We have
centerpiece
a million
franchise
stars in
player,
this league.
especially in the middle of a totally collapsing franchise going in the worst direction possible, comes out and says, I'm not playing a second night back-to-back, I'd die. I would croak if Tatum ever came out and said something like that. I'd croak.
So what are you
Look,
saying?
this is where
Are you
Embiid.
saying
Look,
Tatum out?
this is where
top of
Justin is
that,
turning me
I
into an Embiid defender right now.
I'd also
You're backing me into a corner of defending Embiid because he's
So
actually hurt.
Are you saying
actually hurt.
we need to punish him for saying, for him being a star or whatever and not going back to back? I don't understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. Oh, get him out of the league. Like is that what you're trying to do?
What I'm saying.
Yeah, people are
What
paying
happened to the
top
Kobe
dollar.
Bryants in the world? What
Right.
happened to the Kobe Bryants in the world? See that boy up there in section 326, row 15, ass back against a cold, freezing brick wall. Guess what?
Yeah.
He saved up his allowance to come watch me play. But it's the second night of a back-to-back, so I'm not going to play tonight.
Right.
I agree. No, I agree. I just don't know what do you say?
Oh, you want a night off? You want a night off?
No nights off.
We do about what are we supposed to do about it? Be like, no, get him beat out of the league. He's soft. Like, is that? What do you?
But
saying?
that is literally to
And
me
you know
not
what?
a chronic problem with stars, in my opinion. It's a
And-
chronic problem with
the
a guy
league
like
is soft.
Embiid,
The
and he gets
league
the
is soft.
conversation.
Came
But
out-
I don't think I don't think he is
I do.
what
I think
every
he's the
star is on.
He is the mascot of when it comes to load management. Who's the first player you think of when it comes to load management? Either him or Kawhi.
Look,
Embiid, yeah.
and look, Justin, I have it right here. I have it right here. I'm writing a huge piece about it right now, and I go into detail about him and Kawhi. But I'm going to defend both of them. Both of them have chronic knee issues. Straight up, they have chronic knee issues. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that these guys. But here's my thing about it. Those are two players. Okay, here's my main point. These two guys have chronic knee issues, chronic injuries. Can't really do anything about it. It's like, okay, you're going to play, but you can't play consistently because you can't keep up with the schedule, or else you're going to break down. Randy, you said it, you're going to have to retire. But they don't make up the bulk of the stars in the NBA. The real stars of the NBA, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Never injured.
Not Jason Statham.
Dude,
Jason Tatum.
And
Shea Gilgeous Alexander, Luka Doncic. Those players play consistently. They do.
Sit out until you're at 100%.
All right,
That's
so
my point.
let's just say Embiid's not a star. Embiid isn't a star then.
Look, he actually isn't right now.
He's not a star.
He won
He's not a
MVP 2 seasons ago, but Embiid, the Sixers need him to win, clearly. But
Kawhi,
he's played, 4 games this year, and he's averaging like 19 points a game. I hate to say it, but when you fall off, you fall off. Roy Hibbert, he fell off. He wasn't a star after that one season with the Indiana Pacers, and nobody was talking about him afterwards. I do want to point out Kawhi and Embiid. They've been stars in this league. They've won Defensive Player of the Years. They've won MVPs. Not both of them, one or the other. Yet maybe that's just their time. Maybe their time was the end of the 2010s, early 2020s, and that's the end of their time. Now we should be focusing on some of these other players like SGA, like Tatum, like Jokic, like Giannis, and for the most part we are. The thing is, these other players still get the conversations of, LeBron and KD, Kawhi and Embiid, they're sitting out. But it's like these players are older and injury prone.
Yeah,
They're just not at the top of the pyramid anymore.
stragglers, they should retire before they
Or
even
just
give
fall
out.
into their roles and to play when they're
Okay.
100%.
So
you're-
if 3-point shooting and I shouldn't say 3-point shooting because 3-point shooting is always in the game. It's always going to be in the game. It's always been in the game since the late 70s, early 80s. But if it's not the 3-point shooting, the attempts, and if it's not load management, which I'm not saying are the only two sole reasons, so I will say that, but I do think those are two of the most highlighted. If I hear somebody talking about what is wrong with the NBA, 95% of the time, those are the two that complaints that come up the most.
Officiating.
What?
Officiating.
What? Well, I want to ask Seamus. Seamus, what is the issue in the NBA right now? Why are the ratings plummeting and why are they only going down day by day?
There's actually a bunch of reasons for this, but I'll use the top one. All right. And I'm going to use a Bill Simmons term right now. There's no unicorn moment happening at the moment in the NBA. There's no unicorn moment. In the 1980s, we had Magic and Bird. The Celtics and the Lakers, they made the finals almost every other year. And if it wasn't them, it was the Rockets and the Sixers. They played huge parts in rivalries in the NBA in the 1980s. That fled into the 90s, where you have Michael Jordan. You have the Houston Rockets. The Rockets won back-to-back, other than the Houston Chicago Bulls, who won 2 3-peats during that decade. After that, the NBA was in trouble. Yet again, Michael Jordan left, and what happened with the ratings? Went off a cliff in 1999. Straight up. Michael Jordan left. Now, we were in a lockout season. Everything was turned upside down. Ratings went downhill. What happened? Shaq and Kobe. Shaq and Kobe came around. That became a huge story until they broke up. And what happened with the NBA yet again? Back into trouble. But what's next? 2010, the decision with LeBron James goes to the Miami Heat. They make 4 finals in a row. They face the Spurs in back-to-back finals. And then who is the person who emerges right after the 2014 finals and wins the 2015 finals? Steph Curry. Then it's the Warriors and Cavs for 4 straight years. And of course, Kevin Durant joins that rivalry. And I think we all thought, by 2018, that was kind of becoming stale, the 4th year of it. But the Warriors were still around, still the best team in the NBA. 2019 made the finals yet again against the Raptors. Then the bubble hits, and really 2019 into 2020, that's the era we're in right now in the NBA, where we haven't seen a team win consecutive finals back-to-back years. We haven't seen a team make the finals back-to-back years, and we're not seeing any dynastic runs after Curry and LeBron. We don't have a Curry and LeBron outside of actually Curry and LeBron right now, who are past their primes, and they're on teams who are mediocre and really not contending for the title whatsoever. I know some people might say, the Warriors, blah, blah, blah. But we don't really have an heir apparent. Giannis, Jokic, they're not on dynasties. Luka, not on a dynasty. Tatum with the Celtics. This is what's interesting. The Celtics and Jason Tatum actually have a chance to grab the narrative this decade and win multiple finals in a row and be that great team year after year. And Jason Tatum be the American superstar that we need, because it sucks to say, but foreign names in the league have never quite resonated in America the way they really should, even though these foreign guys are just spectacular, as we know as basketball fans, Jokic and Giannis. They just, number one, their names are hard to say. Half of America calls them Jokic and Giannis. I mean, come on. It's kind of just one of those things where they're not as marketable as the American star face in America, and we don't have the heir apparent right now. Anthony Edwards, what I think would be great for the NBA, and this is coming from Celtics analyst, Celtics show here, but Anthony Edwards needs to be on a team that's in a big market. Minnesota isn't the market for him to flourish in. It just isn't. If he's on the Lakers, we might have that other star. We might have, Anthony Edwards with the Lakers, Jason Tatum with the Celtics, Lakers, boom. The league is back. We need that household star face presence, the recognizable presence. Everybody knows. You can ask your sisters, your grandmas, your aunts, whoever doesn't watch basketball here. Who's some of the best players of the NBA? They'll all know LeBron James. Right. They will. LeBron James. They all know Michael Jordan. They do. And we don't have those players in the league right now who are competing for the title year after year on a dynasty. And what's so crazy about this is the fact during the dynasty runs of the Warriors, and even you could say Cavs, I would call the Cavs a little bit of a dynasty Eastern Conference wise, because they were just year after year, not in terms of winning the title, not in terms of winning the title, but an Eastern Conference dynasty. Okay, Eastern Conference title. They made it year after year, and even the Miami Heat, we can just call it the LeBron James dynasty of the 2010s. People were complaining, oh, our dynasty's bad for the NBA. Oh, no, they're not. They're bad for the diehard fans who love to see parity. And right now, this day and age is the best time for diehard fans in terms of the parity of the NBA, because year after year, we don't really know who's making the finals. Now, we suspect that the Celtics should go back to the finals this year and might even win it. But for the most part, we're all sitting around going, does anybody know who's winning the West this year? No, we don't.
Yeah.
We absolutely have no clue who's winning the West. It could be a completely different team by the end of the year. We all think, oh, the Thunder, the Thunder. Yeah, the Thunder scored 81 points in the NBA Cup final the other day and looked like just not ready for the spotlight, apparently. And last year in the playoffs, the same thing happened. So right now, the star faces, the household star faces, the dynastic runs, those are playing the biggest factors. But there are also other things too, like social media plays a big part in it. There are so many other consuming aspects of the NBA that I don't think people like the ratings. For one, the ratings don't really matter because the NBA just signed an 11-year TV deal. When the ratings will matter again will be 2035 when their next deal is coming up, where it's like, all right, we got to get a new TV deal. How many billions of dollars are we getting there? That's when the ratings will really matter, is 10 years from now. But we have 10 years to make up that difference. But ultimately, I still think the same amount of people are consuming the NBA as last decade in general, just because they're consuming it more so on YouTube, on Instagram Reels, on TikTok. They're consuming it in vicarious ways that, yeah, they're not watching the whole game. They might be watching condensed versions of the games. They might be watching highlights. They might be watching little 60-second clips. I mean, we know it best. We're putting out 60-second clips of ourselves, and we put out clips of ourselves on YouTube where, hey, yeah, these get a couple hundred views and more people watch them because they're 15 minutes, they're 20 minutes long, they're 10 minutes long, or they're 60 seconds long, and people aren't necessarily watching the entirety of the post-game show right here to hear us rant about all this nonsense. But there's so many other reasons. I actually have a piece coming out about this. I hate to self-promote, but I've been working on this for like a month because, my goodness, I just cannot. It's 4,000 words. People just go, check it out. There you go. Here we go. See? I have it all ready here. So if we want to go more so on this cord cutting, all this good nonsense, we can talk about that as well.
Could we blame it on the national media? I mean, the coverage of the NBA, could it be that they're not being able to promote these young stars as they should be? I think that utilizing the Hall of Famers who are still in the game, obviously giving them their flowers, allowing them to have their time in the NBA. Obviously, load management is a issue alongside these stars. If they're not on the court, what are they doing? They're sitting on the bench. They're sitting at home. I think that is a key component as well. And it's also a big factor that there's so many secondary markets. I mean, everyone who's on this post-game show listening right now is listening to a secondary market. They're not listening to the Celtics post-game show.
Sorry, go ahead, Franco. Hate to interrupt you.
Yeah, but
I want to spur off your point.
But yeah, I think that national media plays a huge tie into it. They're not able to get the names of Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo into the faces of the league, and being able to have the regular fans who aren't tuning in, buying the NBA League Pass, being able to follow every single team. Hell, most fans in the NBA don't even follow their regular teams as much as they used to anymore, and we've seen it starting to die off in that sense. Obviously, us as Celtics fans will never leave. We bleed green, but we're not seeing that in other markets. Obviously, they're trying to promote the smaller market teams with these NBA cups, these regular season cups, trying to be like, hey, why don't you check out this guy on live national television? He's pretty good, and not really going into full embrace of them. And I think that we'll be able to see more of that growth. And it's also going to be weird if the Celtics do become that dynasty team. Will the national market want to cover it? People do not like Boston. It's not like the Warriors where you're going to have bandwagons. Boston will never have bandwagons in their lives. I don't think that will ever come to a point where we're going to see people being like, oh, I'm a huge Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown fan and can't name Isaiah Thomas and Marcus Smart. I think that it's a market that is very biased to itself here in Boston, and I just don't see it being able to expand past that.
Well, I want to make a point off of the national media coverage. Now, I kind of go back and forth on this, on whether the national media does a disservice. Now, the NBA's mainstream media networks, primarily one of them being ESPN, I go back and forth on whether they're a problem or not. Now, in one sense, I don't believe they're a massive problem because of this. The NBA's coverage has primarily been the same, if not, I don't want to say better, but more in abundance. It's more in abundance right now than it ever has been, ever. So the NBA coverage that's portrayed on ESPN, they cover the NBA more now than at any time ever before. But also within that, there's more, and we're the perfect example of it here on Celtics Talk Weekly postgame. There are more independent alternative media sources covering the NBA than ever before. And I believe that that actually plays to an advantage of the NBA because people just have way more options and way more conversations to actually listen to when it comes to NBA coverage. Now, we all know, yes, the stars are going to get more of the coverage on the mainstream networks, but you come here to hear about Drew Peterson. You come here to hear about Luke Cornett. You come here to hear about Baylor Shireman, maybe a little bit. I'm going to get taken off screen by Justin right now. Oh, no. Oh, no. I better be careful. But you do come to the CTW postgame show to hear a more intricate view on the Celtics than just Brown and Tatum, Brown and Tatum, Brown and Tatum. You hear everybody. You hear everybody's name, and that's what we're here to provide, along with so many other alternative independent outlets across the internet, and that plays to an advantage of the NBA. Now, in terms of the stars, the NBA not really promoting the stars, I'm a little back and forth on this because on one hand, the NBA promotes what's popular. If you look at the national TV schedule, who has the most games? The Warriors and the Lakers. Why is that? Curry and LeBron. And that is part of the story of the NBA trying to milk Curry and LeBron till the very end. We even saw it during the Olympics where NBC is going to be taking over NBA coverage next season alongside ESPN and Amazon. They tried to really promote, who was it at the Olympics? Curry, LeBron as starters, Kevin Durant off the bench over guys like Jason Tatum and Anthony Edwards. That to me was a little bit of a problem, but at the same time, I understand why they're doing it because it's not just the NBA who creates these faces. It's also the situations these stars arise in. KD, Curry, LeBron, they all made their star situations. LeBron went to 9 straight finals, 9 out of 10 years. Curry went to 5 straight finals. KD won back-to-back titles, almost went to the finals again in 2021 if his foot wasn't on the line. Of course, was part of those Warriors teams as well, and the Thunder beforehand with Russell Westbrook. Those stars made their situations. They advanced. They won games. They made it to the finals. They won rings. Right now, all of the stars, you could say Giannis, Jokic, I think they're doing them a little disservice because of how great they are, but their teams are dwindling right now. I think we all look at the Bucks and Nuggets and go, man, these are looking more like 6 seeds than they look like number 1 seeds at the moment. And these other stars, Anthony Edwards, great season last year. We didn't expect him to break out right away. Right. But then what is he right now? He's 500 in the NBA. He's not quite broken onto the scene yet. Yes, Western Conference Finals last year, but where are the Timberwolves going to go this year? And again, we didn't really expect the Timberwolves to do what they did last year. The Thunder, we didn't expect them to do what they did last year, but what has their resume achieved yet? Second round exit, NBA Cup final in which they bricked up 1,000,000 threes and lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. That's it. The Boston Celtics, they've won a title, and this is where I think the Celtics can actually grab that narrative. But I actually think Franco has a great point about the Boston market grabbing the narrative, that it's harder to make the nation like a Boston-led team because of all the winning that's gone on in Boston already this century, compared to a team, say, in San Francisco or Los Angeles, where those are big markets as well, and people aren't quite familiar with winning in those two markets as they are with winning in Boston. So it's a little in between where I look at it and go, the league does do a little bit of a disservice by trying to milk some of the old stars further and further. Like you look at a team like Orlando, I don't know how they only have I don't know how they only have 9 nationally televised games this year. 9. That's
They
it.
do have a great song.
they had
We need to promote that.
They had the script. They knew that these guys were going down.
Apparently so, because Boncaro and Franz Wagner, they're out, but if they were in,
Suggs
this would
now,
be one of the
too.
better teams. They still are one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah.
We faced OKC tonight, and the result of the game we saw, pretty entertaining. But at the end of this, I still believe it's, in terms of the national media mainstream coverage, it's not so much of that as people suggest, because it has to be, again, the main base layer of these teams and stars. They have to rise to the occasion and create historical streaks and chase historical streaks.
Yeah.
What always tunes people in? It's, oh my goodness, Curry is breaking the 3-point record every year. Oh my goodness, Curry and Klay Thompson are going, wow, whoa, LeBron James, he's making the finals every single year, winning, 27 straight games with the Miami Heat and making the finals as much as somebody would in the 1960s like Bill Russell. And LeBron James is the first player to make finals 9 out of 10 years since Bill Russell, I think Sam Jones and Tommy Heinsohn, if I'm not mistaken. Tommy Heinsohn might have been 8 of 8. I think he made the finals every year of his career, which is just insane. Tommy Heinsohn doesn't get enough respect for that.
Great guy.
Tommy.
We love Tommy. We love Tommy.
Oh yeah, we should have a big 15 in the middle like NBC Sports Boston does. But regardless, historical streak chasing is also humongous in the NBA. We just don't have any of that right now. League-wide, it's historical in terms of players attempting three-pointers, but no team is really going above and beyond what we've already seen from the Warriors last decade, or the Rockets per se as well, and James Harden. No team is going and chasing something that we've never seen before. If we kind of think about the Cleveland Cavaliers at the beginning of the season, they kind of drew eyes a little bit. They were, 15-game winning streak. Now we destroyed it, rightfully so. That's what we wanted to do. But that was kind of a moment the NBA was grasping onto, going, oh, look, could the Cleveland Cavaliers challenge the Warriors record? Now, I think most of us knew they weren't going to, and that they were going to fall well short of it, because they're the Cleveland Cavaliers and we don't look at their team and go, whoa, what a super team, which that's also another issue right now. There's no crazy super teams out there that people are paying attention to outside of the Celtics, and I wouldn't even call them the craziest super team in the world relative to the rest of the league, because, hey, look, we're defeated by the Bulls tonight. Other teams can beat us if we're not on our game. That's just what happens. But there's so many reasons as to what goes into this ratings conversation. I feel like I could talk about this for 3 hours, and you could go back and forth on a couple of points, but the main point is the household star faces and dynasties on teams, or household star faces on dynastic teams making historical runs. We need a Kobe and a Shaq. We need a LeBron James on the Heat or Cavs. We need a Steph Curry on the Warriors. We need a Bird and Magic on the Celtics and Lakers. We need a Bill Russell or Jerry West or Elgin Baylor again. We just don't have that this decade so far. Despite great stars emerging everywhere, no star is really taking the narrative as, oh, I forgot about Michael Jordan as well. Michael Jordan played the Bulls tonight. We don't have another Michael Jordan, and we need a Michael Jordan. Could that be Jason Tatum? Still has a long way to go, but could be.
It is.
But you know who we do have?
No,
Oh, Luke Cornett. This is what this conversation started with.
Throw it up, Franco. Yeah, we do have Luke Cornett. We're gonna get
That's
to see
the official Luke Cornett sound.
Yeah, it is. We're gonna get to see Luke Cornett play against his former team on Sunday. The Celtics and Bulls are back in action for game 2 of this little mini series. Obviously, the Bulls tonight got the best of the Boston Celtics on the parquet. 117-108 was your final score. Jason Tatum was your SeatGeek player spotlight. 31 points, 10 rebounds, double-double. Grab some tickets off of SeatGeek. Use code Celtics Weekly at checkout for 20% off or $20 off your first purchase. Franco, go ahead, buddy.
Hold on. We have 7 minutes, but in 7 minutes, it is Justin Lowe's birthday.
Wow. Thank you. I think it calls for a celebration, fellas. Huh? Little celebration that's not going to get you a technical foul or fine in the league. Huh?
Yep.
Hey,
Merry
thank you,
Christmas.
Seamus. This is the
Luke
thought that
looks
counts.
jacked. Luke looks
It's-
absolutely jacked in that picture.
He can go up against Embiid in the post. Just give him a shot.
He looks
He'll do it. We're going to get to see the Celtics and Bulls back at it on Saturday. 8:00 p.m. tip-off a little bit later. We'll still have you guys covered for Celtics post-game live. We'll be able to really break down what we've seen these past 2 games. A little weird. We might see a very different Chicago team a few months down the line than what we're seeing between today and Sunday. But that's just how the schedule kind of works out. We get Eastern Conference opponents out of the way early. Still haven't played the Philadelphia 76ers yet. We already have our season series against Chicago and Milwaukee already wrapped up. A little weird how that works. But
Justin, I'm gonna make
ahead,
a
Randy.
prediction right now. I'm gonna make a prediction. All right. Well, on Sunday, when we match up against these same Bulls, we're gonna win by at least 20 points. Mark my words. 20 points.
Seamus, are you guaranteeing it?
I guarantee it. I mean,
You don't have a
think
53-point Celtic win? Remember we went in
no.
Chicago
No.
about 5 years ago.
It's gonna be a 20+ point victory, but I think really what it came down to is I don't think the Celtics knew what they were expecting tonight. They didn't know what was coming. The Bulls are legit. I personally thought they were just a bunch of mid players. Good team. I think we'll come in. I think
their
we'll come in
entire roster
Sunday.
could be traded by Sunday, dude.
I think we're gonna come in Sunday and we're gonna blow them out of TD Garden and mark my words, 20+ point victory. Okay, United. Sorry. But yeah, we're gonna blow them out, mark my words, and
all right.
20+ point victory, mark my words, Sunday.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys with a clip of Joe Mazzulla, and this is exactly how tonight went, courtesy of NBC Sports Boston. I'm gonna have to play it. I'm gonna play it, Seamus. Listen, the stream's ending.
No copyright intended, by the way, YouTube.
No,
See, this
that's
should be
why
the
I said.
disclaimer.
That's why I say I'm not Rob. I throw out my disclaimers before I play my videos. NBC Sports Boston. Here we go.
Game losing streak in this series, 117-108.
Yeah.
Look out, Joe Mazzulla. Oh, he's talking to Justin Van Dyne, who teed him and Jaylen Brown up in the 4th quarter.
Well, Joe's got to be careful because they could suspend him in the next game.
Celtics fans, claim your free 10-piece McNuggets with a $2 minimum purchase tomorrow. Offers only valid at participating.
But you can still get your 10-piece McNugget tomorrow.
Able to restrain him
Mr. Free throw.
and walk him toward the tunnel.
That was good. That was good.
Wishing the rest Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. What a nice guy.
Palladino.
Don't
That
have
was
to
just
make
the funniest thing. I didn't catch that. When I downloaded the video. But Mazzulla's sitting there going at a ref, attacking the ref, and Palladino's in the background. You can still get your 10-piece McNugget tomorrow. That's amazing. Celtics and Bulls, guys. We got to close it out here. Go ahead, Franco. Last point.
And he was saying Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to the ref. He wasn't
He
saying
was.
any foul language.
No.
He
They
said
were
that
blowing
during
it out
his
of
post-game
proportion.
interview. It was,
He was
Merry
excited.
Christmas, Happy Holidays.
He
Merry
hadn't,
Christmas,
he hadn't
Happy
seen him in a
Holidays.
while. That's all.
course.
That's
Yeah.
all. We'll catch you guys on Sunday. Celtics and Bulls rematch Sunday. We'll catch you back here.